If your dog could talk, they'd beg for Ollie. The full-body tail wag, the excited little hops, the big goofy grin, that's the Ollie effect. Ollie delivers clean, fresh nutrition in 5 drool-worthy flavors, even for the pickiest eaters. Made in U.S. kitchens with highest quality human-grade ingredients, Ollie's food contains no fillers, no preservatives, just real food. With 5 protein-packed recipes like fresh beef with sweet potatoes or fresh turkey with blueberries, even the pickiest eaters can't resist. You might think, dang, my dog eats better than I do. And that's probably true when it comes to Ollie. Dogs deserve the best, and that means fresh, healthy food. Head to ollie.com/Wondery. Tell them all about your dog and use code WONDERY to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a happiness guarantee on the first box, so if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/Wondery and enter code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box.
Get into the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event and get away with a deal so right, it almost feels wrong. Because right now, you can get huge savings on our most popular models. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Visit HyundaiUSA.com for details.
This episode brought to you by the following patrons: Leaf Girl, Min, Jason, Madeline, Alyssa, Vixen, Laura, Jeremy with the laser eyes, Allie, Logan, Kristen, and Tia. And all the patrons want you to know you're loved, you're listened to, and you're a valuable member of this awesome horror virgin community. And if you want to hang out with us, do so in the Facebook group, where we'll be talking about creepy dudes that you didn't realize were creepy daily, like Harrison Ford. Paige, I'd like to get back to my TED Talk on why I think if Brad Pitt was ever in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, George Clooney would definitely be in the audience to help, like to support. You know what I'm saying?
Why do I feel like that's not the first or the last time George Clooney will watch him put wieners in his mouth?
What? Why?
I don't know. I'm just here starting rumors.
Yo, those Oceans movies get weird.
You'd watch it.
I definitely would watch it for like the wow factor of it all. Are you kidding me?
Right?
Yes. If you had 28 minutes of solid Brad Pitt on Clooney action,
yeah,
I'd check out 5 to 10 minutes of that.
Oh, I'd check out the full 28 and the extra features and the behind the scenes.
You know what I thought was wild, Paige? They did a director's commentary.
Thank you for tuning into Horror Virgin on Paige.
And I'm your horror virgin, Todd, which means I don't like scary movies, but you guys make me watch them. And this week, Paige made us watch.
Technically you. This was your suggestion, and I just vehemently agreed with it.
I do want to say that we were just like, what movie should we do? And I did a Google search and was like, oh my God, Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer are in a movie that's a horror movie?
That's a horror movie?
And that movie is
What Lies Beneath. Very funny to me when you texted me. You're like, I know this one isn't that famous, but What Lies Beneath? I was like, are you smoking crack? This movie's very famous.
Oh, is it?
It was directed by Robert Zemeckis.
Oh, did he direct Back to the Future or some shit,
yeah,
Paige?
He did.
I know. Like, listen, this movie is Zemeckis, Han Solo, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Cool Rider.
I was not at all. Yes, yeah. I was not at all surprised. It's a good horror movie, especially for like 2000.
Yeah, oh, for sure. No, like, I do, trust me, I got complaints. This is the return of the king of movies.
There are a lot of endings, yeah. Yeah.
This movie has 1 act, 2 act, and then 4 third acts. It's fucking nuts. It's crazy. It has no business being as long as it is. But at the same time, admittedly, the 4th third act gets a little loosey-goosey with the establishing shots and takes forever. But other than that, the whole time you're like figuring out the mystery. But then every time you're like, I got it. Then you have like a lingering question.
Oh man, that last reveal, when it's revealed that Harrison Ford did the most believable thing he could have done.
Thank you.
I was not shocked at all. I was actually kind of impressed though at really like how Michelle Pfeiffer can act, because I do think she was surprised. But God, I saw it coming a mile away.
I saw it coming to the point where like the other endings were happening.
Yeah.
And I was like, but what about that mouse serum, though? Like, every time.
What about that lady that your husband murdered?
What about the lady your husband definitely murdered and the weird vagina necklace he bought her?
Paige, I have a quick question for you. If you found out that Jake had an affair.
Sure.
And that person went missing because at the point in the movie, that's all that's on the table. We don't expect Han Solo for a second because we're not Mrs. Greedo or whatever. But Paige, I thought it was insane that she didn't see it coming because it's like pretty clear.
It's so obvious.
Maybe it's just because I'm a true crime nerd. And you know what? I do feel like this movie sort of like predicts true crime nerds because when they're at dinner and Harrison Ford brings up that their place is haunted, fully well knowing it is, and it's haunted by his affair partner that he murdered.
Yes.
This dude is like a chess level at his like guile. He is like, oh, the place is haunted, and those people lean in so hard. They're like, tell me everything about this haunted house.
I mean, Todd, you just asked me what I would do if I thought I found out that Jake had killed an affair partner.
Again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again. And
Allegedly.
And the answer is win a Pulitzer for making Serial Part 2 or whatever.
Hell yeah, Paige.
Right? You think I'm not gonna like private detective the shit out of that? Wait until the opportune moment, turn him in, play dumb the whole time, and then release that shit in one 8-episode arc? You're sorely mistaken. You don't know me at all.
Yeah. We just got to drop in the serial music. When does love become hate? And just start like with those like non sequiturs that they always start their episodes with that I kind of love because they always tie them back at the end and it works. I like it.
When you look in the mirror, whose reflection do you see?
Who are you, Michael Jackson? Because you should start with that man in the mirror.
Is it the man who murdered his affair partner after buying her the most genitally suggestive necklace and then buried that necklace at the bottom of the ocean?
I really hope her mom doesn't keep a lock of her hair that my wife can then find and use as a bookmark later.
As a bookmark in a witchcraft book that might make her possessed. What possesses us? What possesses you? This season
of Serial.
On Serial.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm Sarah Koenig, and this is Serial. Blink,
I like how
blink,
even
blink,
in
blink,
our bit
blink,
where
blink.
you're the host of Serial, you're not Paige Wesley.
It wasn't me. It was still Sarah Koenig.
You're that committed to the bit. You're like, no, I know her name and I will say it.
I'm Paige Wesley, and this is Alimony.
Paige, what you should have said is, I'm Paige Wesley, and this is Witchcraft, Ghosts, and Alchemy, because that's the book she's reading.
Oh, yeah, Witchcraft, Ghosts, and Alchemy, but I still think of I'm Paige Wesley, and this is Witch, Magic, and Oozies.
Yes, yeah.
More blood, more titties. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. HelloFresh helps you save time every day.
I thought it was going to be a commercial for anything Elvira was selling, because I feel like that is like right up our lane. Anyway, but I did think it was wild that he bought her, or that her friend bought her a book called Witchcraft, Ghosts, and Alchemy. And I was like, there's no way this book exists. And I didn't look it up, but I'm sure it does.
Oh, I'm trust.
It is just like... Honestly, it looks like a prop that Jim Jones would hold up in front of a congregation. That's how poorly titled it is.
It is only, Todd, a matter of time before someone at a meetup hands me either that book.
Signed by Jim Jones, oddly enough.
Signed by Jim Jones. Or some sort of Witchcraft and Oozies or Blood and Titties tarot deck, because you have to be gifted the deck. You can't buy the deck.
Is that a thing in tarot?
Yes. Well, or at least I've been told. I don't know for sure, but from everything I've been told is that you have to be gifted the deck.
If that's the thing, who got the first one?
Good question.
I have a very chicken and egg related question about tarot, if that's the thing.
Okay, I think I have a chicken and egg related answer, all right? So, like, I'm pretty sure that whoever the first person was out in the woods, and they were like, I found these cool rocks, I'm going to put them in a hat, and then out of that hat, they pulled the first tarot deck. No, I'm sure it's not that. But could be.
I kind of like that story, though. I'm going to stick with that. I'm updating the Wikipedia as we speak.
No, okay. So what I don't know for sure, but I believe it used to be more of a playing card game, and that the mysticism around it has evolved over time.
Sounds spooky.
But allegedly, you're supposed to be gifted one.
Yeah, great.
All this to say, I absolutely want to see your Wild Blood and Titties tarot deck.
Yes.
Show it.
Yes. Paige does want to see your wild blood and titties. Full stop.
Yeah, it's again, someone's going to give me this witchcraft book, and please don't put your hair in it. Gross.
100%.
I will steal your DNA and use it to murder somebody.
Oh my God. If she had like planted, here's what Harrison Ford should have done. Why did my mind go there? But
I don't know, but I'm excited to hear it because my brain was doing all kinds of weird shit like this in this movie.
this lady is missing. if her hair is found at another crime scene that they're definitely going to run DNA at, that means she has like, oh no, she was alive at this point. We know because that's when the crime happened. Yeah, okay. He was an idiot to burn it. And this is why I shouldn't watch Law and Order SVU anymore when I'm on the road, because I like focus on the wrong thing, I guess, because that dude should be dead and he is dead.
This is like when we watched what do we watch? Unfaithful, and I was like, Richard Gere is bad at crime. Here's how you get away with this murder. Like,
yes, I do feel better after that because that is what I just did.
Are affairs what kills us, or are we killing our affair partners? I'm Paige Wesley, and this is Blood and Titties.
Love it.
Yes, we're the same kind of broken, Todd.
I know,
and that's why this movie is an adventure, because truly, not a ton happens. Like the first act is Rear Window. I just want to watch Rear Window now.
The first act is kind of Rear Window. I called it Michelle Pfeiffer just becomes Wilson from Home Improvement because it's like 100% nosy neighbor shit. You know what I'm saying?
How's it going over there?
Which, like, okay, her neighbor is going through some stuff.
Yes.
I don't really buy the explanation they give us in the movie for what's actually happening.
Oof a goof.
But
yeah,
we'll get there when we get there. I definitely think there's something going on and there was reason for her to be concerned. And I understand why she brought her at least 45 different bouquets trying to find out exactly what was going on. Yeah.
Yes. And here's the other thing, because the next door neighbor, he's only in a handful of scenes, but he's played by James Remar, which, if you'll remember, was almost Hicks in Aliens, which is the main thing I remember about him anytime I see him. And it was very off-putting to see him be like so evil, and then later in the movie be like, hey, it's fine that you called me a murderer in front of my friends. Water under the bridge.
And then he goes and pretends to strangle his wife.
Yeah.
And they're at like a work party, sir. Like, you wouldn't even do that if that wasn't what was going on anyway. Like, that's just not appropriate to do ever.
Todd, did you see Don't Worry, Darling?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. At a certain point in this movie, did you also think that one of the Return of the King third acts was going to be that all the professors in the department that were kind of working with that experiment or adjacent to it had been drugging their wives or mistresses, and it was like a widespread thing? I thought that might be it.
Wow, that would have been a crazy reveal.
Right? Where like Hot Fuzz.
Yes, it is a lot like Hot Fuzz. Yes. It's not one murderer, it's a town of murderers, right? Yes. Yeah.
It's a town of murder. It's a college department of murderers.
Yes.
The greater good. Like, yes.
Honestly, that would have been a cool reveal, because this reveal you do see coming.
You absolutely see it coming.
I say that, and I don't really hate it. Like, I kind of liked it because that's how it would kind of play out.
Harrison Ford playing a creepy villain? Yes, please.
And he's like charming, nice, sweet Harrison Ford. Like, he plays him like every time you've seen Harrison Ford in a movie, more or less.
Yeah.
And then in like the last 5, 10, 15 minutes, he turns it into a villain, and he does a good job.
Yes. I liken it to in Fresh when you first realize Sebastian Stan is evil.
Boom, title card right there.
Well, there's that one. And then when she wakes up, he's still kind of normal.
Yeah.
Until he screams at her and you're like, oh my God, like, no. Super evil and very sexy. And like this one, not as sexy, but that same, when he like is like kind of cocking his head over the tub, you're like, oh no.
Oh man, dude. And there were so many things. Like, this movie isn't super, super scary, but there were 2 moments that like made me jump. One of them is in the bathtub towards the end when he like picks up her lifeless body. Yeah. Not dead, but because she's been injected.
He sees the ghost. Yeah.
Yeah. And man, that scared the shit out of me. And there was a bit early on. Well, I'll tell you when we go through it. But like, I think they did a great job with the movie.
Yeah. I do think it's wild that the affair partner ghost is basically at the end like, got you, bestie, women saving women. I was just like, she's a girl's girl.
She's a ghost's girl, Paige.
She's a ghost girl.
100% from the afterlife sent the random like anonymous DM, check his phone, girl. So sorry, didn't know he was married or whatever.
Didn't know,
yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah. Although she did know, but like 100% she was like groomed by this professor, and like I don't blame her necessarily. Like, she's the victim by far. She died.
Yeah, I had questions about how consensual their relationship was. I mean, obviously she's an adult, he's an adult, whatever.
She was 24-ish or whatever. So she is an adult, but his student. Yes, it's a problem.
Well, yes, but I was like, was she pressured? Was she not? But then we get the story about like they were on a weekend together that like where he bought her that very vulval necklace. It's an interesting choice. I think it's supposed to be a lily. It's got real Georgia O'Keeffe energy, you know what I mean?
Is that how you pronounce it? I thought it was queef. Anyway, it's like a heart, but there are some folds in it that are kind of suggestive.
It's got a clit, Todd.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
It's a heart with a clit.
I understand.
That necklace should only be viewed through a hand mirror. It's fucking crazy. It's such, and there's like a whole like line of it, like where the box is and everything, where someone clearly was like, this is my Lily series, and people were like, yeah, lilies, that's what it looks like. It's definitely a lily.
It's a cast. Janice, that's your vagina.
So you got the large one, she's like the majoras, yes, and the small, the menoras. Yeah, no, lilies, you say, flowers. Yeah, all right. So that middle, the stamen, got it. Cool.
Paige, she actually bought that for him so she could show him where it was. And she put it on a necklace so it would hang where he only looks at her.
Right. I'm just at the end, he's got that necklace in his hand, and I was like, belongs in a museum. That's all I could think.
Oh my God. Did you know? I didn't know this. I was blown away by this revelation in the movie, Paige.
What?
When she's holding on to the lock of hair by the edge on the boat ramp or whatever you call that, the pier thing, she like gets pulled into the water and just like takes it right to where that box is.
Yeah.
Like she's being literally in the scene, being pulled by the hair. I was like, why don't the cops just like use this? Like it's way faster. You could find the bodies way faster. Why don't they just use a lock of hair and do this?
Beep, boop, beep. Hello, LAPD, major case. Have you guys tried witchcraft? Yeah, the hair stuff.
I've got a book you should read a third of.
Yeah, no, you got to braid it. Did someone gift you? No. You got to buy. You can't buy your tarot cards. You got to be gifted.
Let me explain this chicken and egg type situation to you real quick. There's a bag of rocks. It's a whole thing.
It like looks in a hat, sees through the stones. The plates, but then cards. You get it.
It's amazing how much of those words also come up in early Mormonism history. Anyway, Paige, maybe we should go through this movie scene by made up scene.
Let's do it. We open on pretty cool water credits that are mercifully short.
They are, thank God.
But we hear whispering voices, tiny whispering voices, telling you that necklace still definitely looks like a vagina, right? Like we all know, we can all see it. And Michelle Pfeiffer, like, wakes up out of, I guess, sleeping in her bathtub, but she's awake. We then get her trying to blow dry the mirror. She gets shocked on the blow dryer. A lot of this is foreshadowing for things that happen later. How much this movie has like a throbbing hard on for mirrors and that blow dryer. It just needs us to remember it's there.
Yeah, and it's going to shock Harrison Ford later, or so we are led to believe.
Right. I knew he was faking the whole time.
He's an actor, Paige. Like, that's their job.
So he doesn't actually have a whip?
No, his name's actually Han Solo.
Anyway, we find out that this is the day they're taking her daughter off to college.
Yes.
They pack up the car, they drive her to college, and we do get some exposition here just kind of scattered throughout where Harrison Ford's her stepdad.
Yeah.
But has seemingly been around for most of this girl's life. We'll talk about it a little bit more as we get more into it.
How long had they been married at the point where we are in the movie?
Okay, because we'll talk about it in like 2 scenes.
Okay, because I did think that he was like a part of her life, but not like a super long part of her life.
It's been years.
I figured it was years. I thought it was more like 4, not like 12.
My mind had it at around like 7.
Okay. The only reason I say that isn't because he's trying to get busy with his wife in the kitchen while the daughter's still living at home. It's because he doesn't seem fazed that she's going away.
Right.
In the sense that she is. Like, she definitely is dealing with some empty nest issues. Right. And to me, it felt like he was more fine with it. I also think he does mention, you were just like a single mom on the road playing cello.
Yes.
So that she would have had to have been alive and, young enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Yeah. So a couple reasons why I think it's like 7. I think they mentioned there's birthday pictures with the first husband in like a scene or two.
Yeah. She's like reminiscing. That is coming up. Yeah. Sorry.
But also, even though the daughter is going off to college, we also know that the daughter's over 18 because she has a tattoo.
Yeah, she does.
And which at one point when they were about to get busy in the kitchen, they were like, she might hear. I was like, she's got a tattoo. She's about to hear way worse in the dorms. Like, it's fine. So yeah, I was under the impression she was maybe like somewhere between 10 and 12. And then he had been there through like the teen years, right?
That's fair.
And again, you are right. He does not seem to be as affected by her leaving as opposed to like my best friend, her mom got remarried when she was in 1st grade.
Yeah, that's like a lot longer.
That's a lot longer.
Yeah.
And I definitely cried when they dropped her off at college.
Yeah.
I know, I was there.
And honestly, Harrison Ford doesn't seem like he's happy she's gone. Like, it seems like a very normal amount for a stepdad to feel like sad that his stepdaughter's at college, and moving on with her life. But he's not like an ass about it or anything.
Right. But as they're kind of getting ready in the morning, they notice the neighbors fighting on the lawn. And they're like, they're fighting outside and they've only lived here for like 3 weeks. That's a lot. I don't know if you've ever had neighbors like this where you start to just like fucking worry because they're fighting loud and publicly enough that you're like, if it's this loud in public, oh no, what's happening at home?
If it's that loud in public and they're your neighbors, you probably hear what's happening at home.
Right?
Yeah, that's been my experience with it.
So this is the wildest. My parents, the house we moved into when I was a teenager, so I only lived there like maybe 5 or so years.
Sure.
We had these great neighbors for like 3 or 4 years, older couple, and then they moved and like retired to a smaller house. And they sold it to like a younger family that had 2 girls that I used to babysit because I was like 18. And when I was like home from college and whatever, I would go babysit. And they would have these like insane fights in the driveway.
Ugh.
Like loud, brutal. And here's the thing. I was never worried for that wife. She had the upper hand.
Okay.
Like she was winning. I was more worried for him, kind of. They would have these insane fights on the driveway. And then he would just stand in the garage quietly drinking a case of beer to himself, staring down the driveway. It was fucking nuts.
That's terrifying.
It's fucking terrifying. And then I remember, like, I went to babysit them one time and we were doing Darren's Dance Grooves because that's how old I am. And they were like, the youngest one can have 2 Oreos. I was like, 2 Oreos? What serving size is 2 Oreos?
You mean on his way to go get more Oreos? What are you saying?
Thank you. And she was a little girl. And they like left. I was like, bitch, you can have like 5 Oreos. I don't give a shit. Like,
I just doubled your Oreo budget, nerd. Let's
like,
go get the bag.
Tell them I ate them. I don't care.
Yeah.
But then one time I came home from college and he was not there drinking in the the garage anymore. And apparently she had kicked him out or whatever. But like, it was insane the amount of times they would fight in the driveway. And I felt that way for this couple where I was like, because you start to question, you're like, when do I call authorities? Like, whom do I think is in danger?
Yeah.
Is anyone in danger? Is this going to escalate? Is calling the authorities going to make it worse?
Because that sometimes happens, yeah.
Because that sometimes happens.
But that's no reason you shouldn't call them.
I mean, I would consider calling alternate options.
Yes. But like, I don't think you should be afraid to reach out for help.
Yes. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Definitely help. The question is what kind?
I know why you wouldn't seek out a certain resource, but there are other ones, yeah.
Yeah, but there are other resources, yes. And so I fully understood Michelle Pfeiffer being concerned. I would be too.
Yeah.
If I heard my present neighbors fighting that much, yo soy concerned.
I mean, there's a reason she goes over there with that first bouquet.
Hundo, and I totally would have done that too.
She wants that tea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not only do I want that tea, that's me passing like a burner phone to be like.
Right? Yeah. And I do think it was a little bit of like, okay, I just got to know what's going on. Are you okay? Because it sounds like you're not okay. And if this is like a normal thing and like you guys are fine or whatever, we're fine to deal with it. It's not like a problem. I just need to make sure that you're okay.
Yeah. If you're just like, we get loud, but other than that, we're fine.
Yes.
Okay, some people just do.
Yeah.
Because this night, they come home from dropping their daughter off at college, and they're about to get busy, and they hear them getting busy next door, which, by the way, there's 2 whole yards away. That bitch screaming.
Okay, so Paige, I thought for a second, because this is a horror movie, and I don't know.
You thought she was being murdered? I considered that as an option.
Yes. I literally wrote in my notes, I was like, is it gross that like it's probably going to be revealed that when they're like, because Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer are like, oh, I think we can be louder than this.
We can beat it. I've done that.
Yeah, sure. But I bet the other people were actually having sex and one of them was not getting murdered. Like, I thought it was going to be revealed that that was actually her getting killed.
I'll be honest, I never checked to find out if those people were being murdered, but I assumed not because of the moaning.
Well, guys, if you're one of those people who was on the other side of the competitive performative sex with Paige and Jake, please reach out. We'd love to hear from you.
We'd love to hear from you, and we want a rating on our sound effects. Sometimes we throw a fun one in there where you're like, is that a tuba?
Why did they bring a clown nose?
Just one of those, like, you know, those accordions that have all the sound. Like,
Yeah. And then you hear someone finish, and then, that was easy.
That was easy. Bop it, twist it, lick it, hit it, spank it. Yeah.
That's all of the its, guys.
That's all the
Have you
its.
never seen Dodgeball?
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Anyway, she gets up the next day after they were like, all right, guess it's a banging symphony. She gets up the next day and she kind of like realizes that her daughter's gone. She was like trying to, you know, get together some roses and stuff to give to the neighbor. She's like in the garden. Her friend drops some stuff by.
Yeah.
She gets really nostalgic. She goes and looks at their pictures in, it looks like a basement.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell if it was a basement or attic, but it's definitely like a storage. It's not a lived-in area.
No.
And we don't really go back here, so it doesn't matter. But it also starts to set up what happened about a year ago for Michelle Pfeiffer's character. And man, I really do think this movie, unlike Silent Hill, we just talked about this movie does such a good job of revealing its story over the course of the movie in like pretty even segmentation, whereas like Silent Hill was like action sequence, a bunch of plot for 5 minutes, action sequence. And Fool's Gold on Romance in the Pod was just like that too. So like it's nice to see a movie that does such a good job with it.
It is really trusting the audience to start to recognize what are clues.
Yeah.
Without directly pointing out that things are clues. So like, you know that Harrison, in this you see a newspaper clipping about Harrison Ford's dad dying. Do you think he killed him?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Me too. I kind of do.
Because every time someone brings up him, they bring up his dad, and he hates it.
He hates it. I think he killed that guy. But then we also see a picture from the car accident.
Yeah.
And it says insurance. So like they had to have taken a picture of the car for insurance. And she immediately gets very, very upset. Now, we don't fully know the full story of what happened that night, and we'll find out that she doesn't really either.
Yeah, she doesn't have any memory, although she does get it back.
She does get it back.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a ton of memory, but she knows that that something's not right, that she's unsettled, right?
Right.
And all of this, plus her daughter being gone and everything, she goes out to the garden to cry and hears the other woman crying on the other side.
Shit. And this is what the first scare of the movie for me.
Oh, the eyeball?
Yes. And I knew it was coming. Like, it's so telegraphed because it's just like peering through a fence. This felt very Rear Window to me.
Yes. This whole sequence is Rear Window.
Yeah. She's just looking through that fence, whether she's up in her window looking down on their property or at the fence looking through it. And right now she's at the fence looking through it, and then the eye just appears of the lady who's not like menacing or scary, but it just pops out of nowhere, and there's that like audio stinger with the music, and it scared the shit out of me.
Well, and it's what Rear Window does so well. And they literally do a Rear Window shot coming up. Well, I'll point it out.
Yeah.
Where it's the suspense of like, what's going on over there? What's going on over there? What's going on over there? And it also, the movie kind of like leads you along, but subtly. It's not heavy-handed at all. Where, especially if you're me and Todd, you're like, it's always the husband. Like you're watching it and you're like, shoe with blood on it? Okay, only one shoe. Box of clothes, got it.
Yeah.
Putting a body-shaped bag into the... He fucking murdered that bitch.
I know.
He murdered that bitch. And this is why we couldn't let him be Hicks. Like, this is just like us like putting the like connect to the dots, to the dots, to the dots, right?
Yeah.
And in this scene, his wife is like, I'm terrified of him. And the reason she gives later for why she's scared of him is
rehearsed. Say it. It is rehearsed. I do think she is in an abusive relationship.
I think something's up over there.
Because that excuse is bonkers, crazy pants, and I don't think it's real.
I don't think it's real. It doesn't make a ton of sense. Everything we have seen makes me believe that Michelle Pfeiffer's character was right to assume that bad shit was happening over there. The only thing that this movie does is that it's like, hey, spoiler, there's some bad shit over here.
Yeah.
Like on your side of the fence.
I did love that the second act reveal of this movie, or, kind of as we go into the second act, is like, yeah, the bad shit isn't happening at your neighbor's house. It happened at your house 6 months ago.
Yeah, it happened at your house almost exactly a year ago is what it is. But yes, yeah.
Yes, it was a little over a year ago, I think. Yeah.
Yes. But so she tells Harrison Ford, and he's like, people fight, it's not our business.
Right.
Which in the beginning, because also perfect casting choice, because we implicitly trust Harrison Ford. He's Indiana Jones. Why wouldn't you trust him?
Yeah.
It's not him, it's the one-armed man. Like, of course. And so he's like, it's not our business, we shouldn't meddle. But now, having seen the movie, you're like, he didn't want people to pry when it was him.
Right.
Because he's been on the other side.
Yeah.
Like, not good. But he then tells her, he's like, you know what? I'll talk to my friend in the psych department and see what his deal is. Because we will find out that their neighbor is also a professor.
Yeah, he's a coworker of Harrison Ford.
He's a coworker of Harrison Ford, which is also why I was like, they're all in on it. They're all drugging their wives with the mice juice.
It would have been a great reveal, It
would have been. That skews more sci-fi, I think, than straight up thriller, which is more of what this is.
Yeah, this is more straight up horror thriller, yeah.
Anyway, he's like, I'll ask him what his deal is and violate HIPAA or whatever. But meanwhile, the next day, she goes over with a basket of roses to basically be like, hey, I know we've never met, but like, are you okay, girl? Girl, are you okay?
We're 12 minutes into the movie. This is bouquet number 2.
Bouquet number 2.
This one actually has some wine, by the way.
This also has wine in it.
Yeah.
Can we talk about, at a certain point in this movie, I was like, I was in it. And then I looked at how much movie I watched, and it was 37 minutes of a 2-hour movie. And I was like,
yeah.
What the fuck happens for the rest of the time? Like, what?
It's the Return of the King ending, 100%, bitch,
yes.
Because this is a tight 90-minute movie until the 90-minute mark.
Yes. And then it's 3 more movies. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Anyway, she goes over there, and no one seems to be home, even though the car is there. And she sees the like sandal with blood and the box.
Yeah, this is where we get the box with Mary Elizabeth, and I think it's Fleur is the last name, Feur or whatever.
It's Fuhrer, which is
Fuhrer,
weird.
yeah.
Fuhrer. I was like Fuhrer? Like, no, like rural juror. Like,
it's a weird name, probably French on some level, but who knows? But like, we see the name that makes up her initials, and that is a misdirect, but it still sets up the premise of the M-E.
Yes.
What, M-E-G?
Because this is how we learn her name is Mary.
Well, yes, but the affair partner who's actually haunting them is Madison. It's F. Yeah, M-E-F, not M-E-G. Yeah.
So M-F. Fuhrer, Mary Fuhrer.
Motherfucker. That's okay. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. But nobody answers. So she walks back over to her side of the fence with the basket, and her friend is there to meet her and was like, hey, I just want to check in on you. It's been just about a year ago that you were in a car accident, and your daughter, you dropped her off. Like, I can understand that you're kind of going through it.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh God, yeah, I didn't even realize it's almost exactly a year ago.
Yeah.
For the car thing, and gives her some mushroom tea and a whole bunch of stuff. And she's like, no, I'm doing fine. I'm fine. I don't know why everyone thinks I wouldn't be fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, well, call me. I'll be in this fancy new car picking up men's.
Yes, because she just recently got divorced. And Paige, question.
Yeah.
This friend, it's revealed later in the movie, knows, right?
When we get there, let's have a discussion about it, because
Okay.
I feel like there are multiple points of discussion in this movie. The first one, and until you find out that Harrison Ford is kind of is the villain, like the first point of like, would you interfere if you were truly worried about someone?
Yes.
And I would and have in my past
Yes.
interfered in those situations.
Harrison Ford killed somebody. Yes, you tell Michelle Pfeiffer what you think and what you know.
Well, not that. I meant like when Harrison Ford says we don't bother in their business and Michelle Pfeiffer's like, I'm worried.
Oh, yeah.
In that situation, I'm Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm worried. I will probably try to interfere. I would have probably gone over there with the basket, right?
I definitely understand why Harrison Ford did say that, though, because of what we said earlier. Yeah, he does this all the time.
Table the friend one for when we get there, because I think that's a bigger discussion.
Let's do it, though. But yeah, I'm happy to table it.
Yeah. We'll get to it. But we also know that Harrison Ford is off at some sort of conference, working at the lab, potentially having another affair. Who's to say?
Yeah.
But Michelle Pfeiffer is home alone playing solitaire. There's a power outage. She kind of goes to open the window, or close the window rather, because she hears that it's open and it's raining. And this is where she thinks she sees him carrying a body to the car, at which point she wakes up Harrison Ford, who is now there asleep.
Yes.
At this point. And she's like, I thought I saw something, but the car is gone. And he's like, I don't see anything. The next day, she's peeking around with her binoculars. It rained all night. His car didn't come home. Her car's still in the garage. Her doors seem to be opening and closing on their own.
Man, all of that shit, when she walked in the house and the door was open and then she closed it, we saw her close it. And then it's one long shot where she walks into the other room, does one thing, come back and the door's fucking wide open. I would have run out of the house.
Oh, yeah.
To halfway through the bridge and then called someone to burn my house down.
Yes. Yeah. And it could be one of those, like in old houses, like this happens in my house. If I have both the front door and the back door open and there's a breeze going a certain direction, it'll open or close one of those doors.
You got to leave that back door open.
Gotta leave that back door open. Leave the door open, girl.
Love Silk Sonic.
Leave the door open. But it breaks this photo.
It does. It hates that photo so much.
It hates that photo. She keeps picking it up and looking at it. And I'm like, something is important about this. And when the first two Return of the King endings don't super acknowledge it, I was like, there's something with that photo. We have not cracked this case yet. But she goes to take Cooper, their dog, out, and he won't go near the water.
Yeah, because Cooper's not an idiot.
Yeah.
And honestly, you know what's crazy is Cooper probably knows, but he's a dog.
But he's a dog and he doesn't speak English.
Yeah.
Only Doglish. And like, bark, 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 bark.
It's all Greek to me.
Yeah. But doors keep opening and closing on their own. The radio keeps turning on and off. Classic poltergeist activity.
Oh, yeah. It's a haunting.
It's a haunting. And she immediately is like, I'm getting out of this fucking house, and goes to Harrison Ford's lab. Now, at this point in the movie is like, yes, it's a dissociative agent that makes the mice paralyzed, even though they are aware of everything's going on. They can't move. And I was like, well, this is going to come back. I need to store this information for later.
Oh, you mean her husband, who was having an affair, whose affair partner is missing, works in a field of science that causes you to just be paralyzed, but still fully cognizant of what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely the villain, guys. This is the moment you know Harrison Ford's a bad person.
Yes. Yes. Because at this point I was like, why does he need to make super chloroform for the mice?
Right.
And I was like,
what did the mice do to him?
Yes.
Did the mice kill his father? Like, what is happening?
Why? Well, his father died in they're not really they don't talk about it.
Listen, his father died because he was killed by a Highlander.
Right. There can only be one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We named the dog Indiana. But this is the point at which my hackles were raised about Harrison Ford, where I was like,
yeah, the second where they say he's in a field of science that can only be referred to as Dr. Mengele-esque, you know he's the bad guy.
it's like twice as powerful when you put it in a girl's drink. Like, that's basically what he's making.
We're making super rohypnol.
Yeah, what if we had super roofies?
Is that cool, guys? It's weird, though, when they're leaving the lab just like high-fiving each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, let's get to happy hour. That's dark.
You know how girls be waking up? Like, that's the ad for what they're making in this lab. So immediately I'm like,
You said that like the goal is for them not to. You know how girls be waking up all the time?
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like what he's doing. I think it's a bad science. I'm not a fan.
It belongs in a museum. I don't like it.
It's like if Tucker Max could fund a science experiment. It's what it feels like to me.
I'm Andrew Tate, and this is science. I know that sounded a little too Jason Statham. I'm sorry. I haven't watched enough Andrew Tate to imitate him well, and I don't plan to.
Paige, even I have too much hair to do an Andrew Tate impression.
Word. Anyway, Michelle Pfeiffer's like, I heard a bunch of noises at the house, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna have the police check while I'm gone, because this is a little worrying, but maybe you're just upset and that's why you think you're hearing something.
He's like really gaslighting her this whole movie in a very real sense. Like he is actually gaslighting her because he knows what he did this whole time.
He know what he did.
I do think it's crazy that they're being haunted because you know how I always say, like, it's not real, but like if it happens, I'm not fucking with it. Like, I think he just assumes she's like going through an empty nest sort of thing. And like, she's hearing things that may be a reminder of her daughter or whatever, but they're not actually being haunted because as a man of science, albeit Dr. Mengele-esque,
right.
I don't think believes in hauntings. You know what I'm saying? I think it's logical that he would jump to, you're having an episode of some sort of psychotic issue. You know what I'm saying?
This is my favorite part of the movie, that it's so small, but I love it. Because after, like later on, he's like, I really thought you had figured it out and you were trying to do this like passive aggressive shit to make me feel weird. But then it turns out it was real because he literally calls a parapsychology guy and is literally like, that's the only reason, huh? No other reason? Like,
yeah.
No, and it's almost like, and you don't get to hear the other half of that conversation, but it's almost like the other parapsychology guy is like, nah, dude, that's a spirit who is not at rest. So some bad shit happened in your fucking house, man. And he's like,
yeah,
can't imagine what it was. Click.
I would have no idea who murdered my dad and or a fair partner here, possibly.
And or wife and or second wife. Yeah, like, you know.
Oh, dude, when you find Harrison Ford at the bottom of a staircase, I was like, oh, that's a reversal of what I expected because he's pretty much the dude from The Staircase, allegedly.
Oh, yeah, except less owls.
I controversial take, Paige?
Yeah.
I think same amount of owls.
Oh, that's only funny to true crime nerds.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. If you've watched The Staircase on HBO or whatever, you get that. It's actually like a great documentary and a great show with like,
oh yeah,
Colin Firth. They did like a whole show about it. It's great.
They did a show about it. I also agree. Same amount of owls.
Yeah.
One of the things that I find the most fascinating about The Staircase is the family members as they hear more and more of their dad's story, and it's almost like you watch them stop believing it.
Yep. It's interesting to watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's this dawning realization of like, he killed our mom.
Yep.
He killed our fucking mom.
Yeah.
And he's gonna blame it on fucking owls.
Won't it be a hoot?
Who killed her? That guy.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 350 plus programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Anyway, so at this point, they get back home from the terrifying lab, she's like, did you check with the psych department? He's like, yeah. He said that he wouldn't hurt a fly. There's nothing wrong with him. They argue, but everything's fine. And she's like, I don't believe it.
Yeah, because there's clearly something going on. I honestly, even after we get the explanation for what it actually is, think there's something going on.
Well, and we'll get to it when we get to it. Like when we get to what is actually happening.
Yeah.
But the doors open again. That photo gets knocked over again. She sees the neighbor driving away or driving home and goes over with another basket.
This is the one with wine in it, by the way. I was wrong about the first one. The first one's just a bouquet. This is the flower arrangement with wine, because you see him throw away the flowers and drink the wine later.
Yeah. But also she looks in, because she's looking around the house, and she sees plastic sheeting and knocked over furniture.
Yeah.
She sees that one shoe. She sees that he's playing solitaire, which suggests that he was alone.
It's the loneliest game, Paige.
Solitaire is the loneliest game that you can have on your phone.
Or play in a casino or whatever like that.
I actually really like solitaire because I love patterns and counting. But it is a lonely person game.
Yeah.
Her car is there, but she turns as she like comes around from looking in the windows. His car is there and she's like, oh shit. And like leaves the basket and he's like, can I help you? And he walks out and I was like, James Remar, almost Hicks.
Yeah.
She's like, is it a bad time? Can I talk to your wife? And he's like, he doesn't answer her.
No, but she's like, I just wanted to welcome you all to the neighborhood, which I thought was funny because it's established that like, even though they've owned that house and it's been in the family for a long, long time, like they kind of just moved in too.
Yeah. Well, they've been redoing the house for a year.
Right. But they haven't like really lived there. I mean, Harrison Ford has used it as like a bang pad off and on. I guess since his dad was murdered by his son, by him.
We know that they have lived in that house for over a year because she came home and caught them. We will find out. And that was before her accident, which was a year ago.
Yeah, fair. But like,
so they have lived in it for at least a year at this point. But still, welcome you to the neighborhood. They're also fairly new.
Yeah.
He takes the wine, he tosses the flowers, but she's watching through binoculars like as he goes around the house.
Man.
And this is the rear window shot where she's like, where is he? Window, window, window. And he's just staring right down the binoculars.
Yeah, he catches her, catching him, catch her, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And it's like this scary reveal because he's looking right at her. And then she like looks away and we lose focus of where he is. And then we go back to the window and he's not there. And then we kind of go scan towards the windows and we see him almost out of frame, but still sort of in frame, angrily walking towards the house.
Well, not because it's not him.
I know, but it looks like him.
It looks like him.
It's really well done.
It's really well done. It is the movie telegraphing the danger is coming towards you, but it's not coming from where you think.
Yes, because it is the real danger.
It is the real danger.
Yes.
The footsteps, like we see the footprints, and then she turns and Harrison Ford is behind her. Fucking scary. And he's like, hey, we were supposed to have dinner. Aren't you ready? She gets ready. They go out to dinner. One of his friends is now dating one of her former orchestra friends.
Yes.
Which again is why I was like, is there a cabal that's using the mice juice?
And they all really like musicians.
Powerful women that they can remove from their dreams.
I mean, hello.
Yeah. Hello. But this also introduces, on their way to the dinner, introduces that you can only get self-service in the middle of the bridge.
Yes.
So
that's why I made that joke earlier. But yeah.
Yes.
That does become important at the very second end.
Right. But they go to dinner. They have two different conversations. And I think the movie does this on purpose so that you're not quite fully listening to it. You have to like pick whose conversation to listen to.
I loved that.
Because they're kind of talking across. Yeah.
I thought that was so like true to what would actually happen in those situations. Because it is pretty common that like you talk to the other partner's partner and like, because you're talking to your partner all day. So like, you're talking to somebody else and then someone will say something that like sparks everyone's interest and then everyone clues into what that conversation is. And it was a really kind of musical, fun way to bring us into more storytelling where we learn more of the history, right? But I thought that was so cool.
But did you catch Harrison Ford and his friend's conversation specifically.
I don't think I've really followed anything until they clued in. But I'm sure if I went back and watched it this time.
I wrote it down.
Yeah, awesome.
I wrote it down.
I mean, I watched it on the plane. I wasn't able to like really rewind and stuff, but yeah.
I wrote it down because she and her friend are talking about some conductor at Juilliard because they went to school together, whatever. Harrison Ford and his friend is like, hey, did you hear that they replaced that guy in the cardiology department at school?
Yes.
Because he had sex with an intern. He hooked up with an intern. But he's saying it in like a pointed way, like, hey.
Right.
And Harrison Ford goes, they're taking that really serious these days, aren't they? And he's like, well, they have to after, So like they literally talk about the crime at the table. Like,
that's crazy.
And later, once you find out what happens, you're like, oh my God, that guy fucking knew, like...
Well, he at least knew about the affair.
Yes.
And I think, listen, if you know about an affair and then that person goes missing or one of those two people goes missing, like... It's probably that person, which is dark, that's sad, but it's like statistically likely.
Statistically. And Todd, if you were having an affair and I was the only person who knew about it and then that person fucking disappeared, I would be afraid that I would be next.
Yeah.
Because if you're willing to disappear that person, why not me? Like, and I knew about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, Harrison Ford changes the subject to be like, oh, by the way, our house is haunted. I think it's my dad.
Yeah, that's why he brings up the haunting.
That's why he brings up the haunting to kind of like get, the heat off. But he's like, I think it's my dad because we messed with the house, but whatever. We go back to the next day. They've gone home. She's cleaning up where that picture fell. She steps on some glass. She pulls it out of her foot. But as she does, she notices that there's a grate in the floorboards and in that grate is a key and she gets it out.
And the key does not work in the desk. They show her trying every lock in the desk and it does not work in the desk.
It does not work, but she takes the key and as she goes upstairs to the bathroom, there's like steam coming out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like there would be if you had filled up the tub with hot water. And she didn't start the tub. There's no one in the water. She drains the stopper, but as she looks in, there's a woman next to her in her reflection. Because this movie, all about reflection and mirroring.
Yeah.
And very much like, hey, what happened to her could happen to you.
Yes.
There are parallels. You should watch out. You should take notice of the things that are reflecting back on you at this point.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And listen, I do realize that sets up a lot of us saying there's a lady in the water. And I'm sorry, M. Night, that's just the way it shakes out. There's a lady in this water every time you see water.
There's a lady in the water and different shapes in water, but we don't see anybody flicking their bean to a fish thing. So like, don't get your hopes up. Keep your fins to yourself.
Oh, that's the shape of water.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I was like, where did we go?
Yeah.
And then I was like, there's that movie where she has sex with a fish or whatever. That's the one.
Anyway, she screams. She wakes up Harrison Ford. She goes to the psychiatrist the next day.
Yeah.
Which, admittedly, even if Harrison Ford wasn't evil, that might be where you go.
It's not a bad call. Therapy's always a good thing. Yeah.
Therapy's always a good call. And I don't think this therapist is evil or biased, by the way, because at no point is he like, you're crazy. I don't believe you. He's like, hey, let's explore why you might be thinking this.
I don't think she goes enough for him to accurately diagnose that your husband's a murderer and gaslighting you, ma'am.
Right.
Because I think we only see him like 2 or 3 times or something.
Right.
But yeah, I do think he's just like doing his job. Yeah.
He's just feeling it out. I think he's like, she's not a danger to herself. So like, we'll slow roll it.
She's clearly going through something. And listen, he's not wrong. She is. Yeah. I think he assumes at this point, but is still very much looking into it and diagnosing. But I think he probably assumes that it has to do with her daughter going to school and like the empty nest of it all.
Yeah.
And that would be like an Occam's razor, most obvious reason this could be happening. But he does still seem to dig and ask questions and stuff in the subsequent meetings with him. So I don't think he's writing it off as that.
Yeah.
He does. The reason I bring that up is because he does mention that in this scene because she brings it up.
Right.
But he sort of continues on with the session and stuff.
Well, and his advice at the end of the session is like, okay, so you think there's a presence, try talking to it.
Yeah, which I thought was the worst. Does this man not know he's in a horror movie? Sir, like that is not the right advice.
That's not the right advice.
There's somebody evil in your house? Have you thought about opening a portal?
Have you thought about inviting it in?
Yeah.
And I think his thinking is like, if it talks back, we got to start prescribing shit. But like, I think he expected her to be like, I didn't hear anything. It didn't talk back to me or whatever. Like,
Paige, if it talks back, we just sold 1 million books. Are you kidding me?
right.
Yeah, like there's no losing in that situation.
Yeah. Call the Warrens.
Yeah, in 2000?
Yeah, they were still alive.
You get Tom Brokaw on the news talking about Satanists and whatever.
Yeah. And be like, and there was a pentagram spray painted on the basement of the school. Yeah. Are your kids summoning the devil at the mall? Hot Topic at 11. Anyway.
Hot Topic, Paige.
At Hot Topic.
Yeah.
She brings home a Ouija board and calls her most woo friend and also her only friend because it's the only friend of hers that we've met.
And it's also the friend who possibly knows everything and has not told her friend.
Right, but we don't know that yet. But this is also the friend that was like, take this mushroom tea.
Yeah, you like the friend that brings you drugs and a Ouija board. I get it, Paige. Yeah.
Everyone likes a good time.
I'm assuming mushroom tea is some sort of drug.
She said it gives you clarity. I don't think it's psilocybin. I think it's just,
I don't think so either. I think it's just like a nice tea.
I think maybe it's a tea that you stir with a hot guy's dick. Mushroom tea.
That would be mushroom tip tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, nothing really happens except the door starts to open and the other door slams, but it's definitely just the dog.
Yeah, it's Cooper, who's adorable.
Cooper looks like Beethoven.
You mean Beethoven?
No. That dog looks like a Beethoven if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Anyway, Cooper. So she lets her friend go home and she's like, hey, don't tell my husband about this. This whole thing was kind of silly. Ever since the accident, he's had kind of kid gloves around me and I'm trying to not be weird about it, but just things are weird. And her friend's like, well, okay, in his defense, you did wrap your car around a tree and we were all really worried about you. And she's like, I'm fine. She's like, okay, but call me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? So Michelle Pfeiffer goes back in the house and again, mirrors and reflections as she closes the door in the reflection of the glass on the door. We see her computer turn on and open up the solitaire game. We'll come back to that in a second.
Yeah.
She goes up into the bathroom. She sees the reflection in the water. She drops the mirror. She runs. She gets down to the computer. Solitaire has the winner circle and it's the initials MEF, which she thinks is the neighbor, Mary Fuhr.
Yes, which has the same initials. So she does have the same initials. Fair assumption. We get it. But it turns out that Madison, the affair partner, has same initials. I thought it was going to be Clippy for a second.
Oh.
Be like,
yeah.
Are you dealing with a haunting?
Are things moving and doors opening and closing? Click here for what is witchcraft. What was alchemy and...
It was Witchcraft, Ghosts, and Alchemy. That was the name of the actual book.
Witchcraft, Ghosts, and Alchemy.
Yeah. That's like a book you open because you know it's a secret hiding place for your stash. Like the pages are cut out. Like it just doesn't sound like a real book title. I get that they're all sort of in the occult-ish realm, but that's like...
They're three different things.
Yes, they're very different topics.
Yes. But Harrison Ford gets home and she's like, our neighbor is dead. I know that she's dead. He killed her. I'm not crazy. She was there. We had a seance. The seance didn't do anything, but after she was there, and he immediately turns it to you're trying to sabotage my stuff. And I was
man.
Oh no,
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of every step of the way you see it coming, but this is another oh, dude, he's not a great guy.
Yeah, no.
Because he is very much making her, even if it is truly just a mental break that she's having because of the empty nest of it all, which we're not saying it's that. It's definitely not that.
Right.
Even if it was that, he's making that about him.
Yes.
And that's gross on its surface level.
Yes.
Before you even factor in that he murdered the lady that's haunting them.
Right.
He's like, why can't you factor in me with your breakdown? Why do you got to make everything about me? It's gross.
It's real gross.
He's gross.
But she basically goes and confronts him at the lab about it. And she sees the neighbor walking down the hall and confronts him and is like, I think you think I got away, but I saw you. I know you killed her. And he's like, who? He's like, your wife. But his wife is there.
Is literally 3 steps away.
Right. Back at the therapist's office. Because obviously, if you just accuse a stranger of murder, you're going to have to talk to somebody about that.
Yeah. Typically, if unless we're watching The Prestige, you say someone murdered somebody and then the person you say they murdered walks up.
Right.
You're just wrong.
Yeah.
And like, that's a crazy moment you had. You might want to talk to somebody, and it immediately cuts to that, which I liked.
Yeah. And she basically is like, I have a wonderful husband, but sometimes I feel like he doesn't see me and I don't really feel like me. And we have gotten shades of like, once they started dating, she quit doing a lot of the things that she loved. And so like,
yes,
there's hints of stuff, but she also says, she's like, look, I'm willing to deal with the fact that maybe I'm seeing things that aren't there because I'm having a hard time with my daughter being gone. I'll address that, basically.
Yeah.
Now, she gets home and Jody left her the Witchcraft, Ghosts, and Alchemy book.
Yes.
And as she's picking it up, who should show up but the neighbor, Mary. And she's like, I'm so sorry I scared you. And she's like, you seemed terrified. Am I wrong? And she's like, no, I was terrified, but I felt like, have you ever loved someone you felt so consumed you couldn't breathe? And it, like when they leave and I had to go away and whatever. And I was like, love bombing? Yes, it's an abusive tactic. Things are still not okay at that house.
No, that's why I was like, it's still not great. Like there is a level of abuse going on. I'm not quite sure how deep it goes because we no longer are focusing on this part of the story anymore because this is the accepted answer. And it's not really like that isn't the story of The Haunting. Like the story of The Haunting is the murder and the affair, right?
Right.
So we stop focusing on these people altogether.
Right. We see them one more time because like she gets an answer to everything that she saw. So we know that this is not the ghost, that it's a lady.
Right.
But we go to what we find out is basically an annual party because it was the party she went to last year right before her accident.
Yeah, and it's where he was awarded the like
DuPont prize,
position that he has. Yeah. The DuPont chair or whatever, which is very prestigious and I'm sure it meant a lot for his career. Great.
Sure.
But that's the picture that's in the frame is the photo from the newspaper clipping.
Right.
That's in the frame from last year's party.
Right. And she hasn't gotten to the newspaper clipping yet. We will get there in just a sec.
Right. Well, the newspaper clipping is what is in the photo.
Yes, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Is in the newspaper. I know, but it is we know it's the newspaper because we've seen it. What we don't know is what's on the back of that piece of newspaper.
Right.
But you got to set up that it's the newspaper to know that there's the back of it, which is, I thought that reveal was pretty cool.
Yeah, right. So, but she gets cornered at this party and cornered by the host's wife.
I loved this, Paige.
I loved this so much.
Yeah. If a lady caused some drama, and listen, that lady is Michelle Pfeiffer and just like knows it about an affair and like caused a scene or whatever, which I think is sort of what they're hinting at, and then like fled the party because she was mad or whatever, and then had a wreck and survived that wreck. That next year, if that's the first time I see you again, I have a million questions if you've got time and want to talk about it, because I'm so interested in what the fuck was happening last year.
But this is also, this fed into my idea that it was maybe a group of husbands being awful at the school. Because Harrison Ford is like, don't get caught with this lady.
Yes.
She'll talk your ear off. And I think it's because he knows that A, she remembers the year before. And B, she's the kind of old lady who's like, fuck it, I'm going to talk to her. Like, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to sit crooked and talk straight. Like, let's go.
I do think maybe if you read it the way, and it's not this way, because we see the movie and it's not this way, but I love the way you're looking at it. And that is an interesting look at it. And this would be an echo from the past of a lady who knew what she was going through and wanted to know if and confirm that that is what she was going through, and then maybe give her a little bit of a warning. But that's not quite what's happening. But I see what you're seeing, and I love that. Like, that would be cool. Yeah. But that feels very Don't Worry, Darling to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
This lady comes up and is like, hey, I just want to make sure you're okay. I haven't seen you since last year. I've been very, very worried. I'm actually really glad to see you doing so well.
Yeah, I don't think this lady is mean
or
like
not at all.
Just only trying to be catty. I definitely think she's like, I'd love to know what happened last year if you're open to talking about it. Like, she's very kind about everything.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's genuine worry.
Sure, yeah, I would be concerned.
I put this lady in like hero category because this lady is like, I haven't seen you since last year and you got so upset. And Michelle Pfeiffer's like, oh shit, that's right, I broke your crystal. She's like, oh no, don't even worry about that. They were just the caterer's wine glasses. It's nothing. But you went pale like you'd seen a ghost.
Yeah.
And like you saw, essentially, This woman does not know the full story, or if she does, she's not letting on.
No.
But she is like, hey, you saw someone here that upset you so badly that you fled. And we know, everyone here knows, that's the night you got into your accident. And so, like, what the fuck happened? And Michelle Pfeiffer's like, no, I'm fine. I don't really know. But she goes home the next day and she pulls that photo because she knows that photo's from that night. And it is, you're right, a newspaper photo.
Yeah, and the photo breaks again because it falls again. Like, it's fallen 8 or 9 times, maybe not that many, but like 4 times. And so she is taking the photo out to do what she's done 4 or 5 times at this point and kind of replace the glass and like fix the frame or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is when she sees the back of the newspaper clipping that they're showing the front of as the picture.
Right. And it says that there's a missing girl, Madison Elizabeth. And she then searches the missing girl registry, Madison Elizabeth Frank. She brings up her photo and she recognizes her necklace, because how could you not? How often do you see a weird giant vulva on someone's neck? Not all the time. And so it was very memorable, I think. But so she prints out her missing person page and asks Harrison Ford and is like, do you remember her? Did you know her, the girl that went missing? And he says, no, and I'm afraid to ask why you're asking me this.
Paige, okay. Do I think that because Harrison Ford is a man, that this is the first time he noticed his wife might have been on to him about the murder of his affair partner and has no idea what has been going on the rest of this movie? Yes.
Yep.
Do I love watching him squirm in this scene? Because it comes off like he's like, man, I don't have time for this. Like, I'm really busy at work and I cannot be dragged into your delusions. And that is coming from someone who murdered someone probably in the room they're in, or at least in the house they're in, and buried them in the lake.
Well, it almost reads where, let's, for argument's sake, for devil's advocate, let's say Michelle Pfeiffer's character is having a mental health episode.
Sure.
She's in crisis, right?
Yeah, even if she's in crisis, at face value, stop making this about you and help your wife with the crisis she's having, because he's not helping.
Not even just that, but I think it's him almost, like, let's say he's not a murderer, right? It's him not knowing how to help and feeling like she was getting better because she was fine at the party and everything. And then suddenly it's a new thing. It's kind of like when we watched Kings of Tupelo and that guy was like, they're selling body parts.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe they aren't selling body parts, but I do believe that COVID is a hoax and President Trump will save us. And you're like, he's not out of the woods yet. Like, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you could also read it that way. But at this point, I already was like, he does know her. He does know her somehow.
Yeah.
This is not good.
And I don't mean to, I'm not saying this to cast any like sympathy Harrison Ford's way, but the fact that he can sit down having been handed a picture of the woman he murdered, handed to him by his wife.
Yeah.
And he can sit down and be like, performatively making it like, why are you doing this to me? You're having a psychotic break. You're insane. Stop, please. Let's just be happy and married. And he fully knows he killed that person on that paper. Like, that is how cold and calculated this dude is, which is cool. Like, I don't mean that to say I don't like it. Harrison Ford does a great job in this movie.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Yeah, he's great.
It's nuts. He's great. But at this point, she's like, yeah, no, you're right. I'm being silly, and kind of like dismisses it, but then immediately goes and like calls the hotline, gets her mom's information. She drives over there to like talk to her mom. And this is where she gets the hair and sees the photos with the necklace. And she finds out that she probably went to the school where her husband taught. So it's almost guaranteed that he did know her at some point, somehow.
Yeah, definitely.
Meanwhile, Harrison Ford gets home and Michelle Pfeiffer is trying to conjure the dead with this braid of hair that she found. And when she looks in the mirror, she has green eyes instead of blue, which we have established is Madison.
Yes.
Not her.
Which we established that, obviously, when she looked up the picture, right? But she also went to Madison's home, and that's where she got the hair.
That's where she got the hair, but she also told the therapist, she says she looked like me, but with green eyes.
Yes, she did.
Which is true. They look very much alike. He got a type.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He has a type, and she is just she is what Michelle Pfeiffer probably looked most like when she was 24 or whatever.
Right. But essentially, she then, possessed by Madison, it is implied in the film, she essentially seduces Harrison Ford.
Dude, the seduction as Madison, you can tell it's Madison. And it's like, Michelle Pfeiffer does a great job.
Great job.
But like, think about, again, I'm not trying to cast any sympathy Harrison Ford's way, but I would be terrified I was about to get murdered by my wife justifiably if I had earlier that day been handed a printed off piece of paper like it's MapQuest in the era of a picture of the lady I murdered, and then that night she seduces me away. That lady used to seduce me. No, she's about to kill me.
This woman's about to kill me, but they're in the throes of seduction. Madison, in Michelle Pfeiffer's body, grabs for a letter opener, implying that she's going to kill Harrison Ford. But as she does, she catches the view of herself in the mirror, and Michelle Pfeiffer remembers that she came home earlier that day and caught them in the mirror. So she knew about the affair.
Yes, this is where it's revealed that she knows, or she remembers, right? Because the amnesia from the accident.
Yeah, Michelle remembers. Terrible book, plot point in this movie. But this is where Madison said, I think your wife is starting to suspect something, and Harrison Ford throws her off of him.
You said that's where Madison says that, but it's Michelle Pfeiffer delivering the line. So if I was Harrison Ford, I would be like, this is when the dagger comes out.
Right.
So get off of me, please. Yes.
But Michelle Pfeiffer immediately confronts it, is like, I remember before the accident, I came through the door, I saw you in the mirror with her in our house, and then I saw her again at the DuPont party, and I couldn't breathe. I dropped the glass. You slept with a student.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what upset her. That's what caused the accident.
Yeah, but he does. So this is where he starts to move the goalposts, right?
Yes.
Because he establishes, yes, we had an affair. And then he goes off and like brags about how he like tried to break it off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was like, listen, I tried to break it off. Like, I don't really care how deep you went. I don't care how you were trying to break it off or whatever.
You got to twist it.
Yeah. Bop it or whatever. Stop trying to break it off. I mean, he was actually saying it in the sense of he tried to break up with her and she just wouldn't allow it or whatever. It's real gross.
Right.
He's real gross.
He's real gross. But she leaves and ends up at her friend's house. And this is where her friend is like, I was at a coffee shop at this town called Adamant, which I thought was an interesting name for a town. And I don't know if it's real, but could also just be thematic for the movie. But she's like, I saw him at a table. I initially didn't think anything of it, thought it might have been you. Who knows?
Yeah.
I went to approach them and they were fighting so hard, something stopped me. And I did not approach them. He never knows that I saw. But then a week later, you had your accident and I thought, she fucking knew, she found out about it, and that is what happened.
Yeah.
And she had worried that she had deliberately crashed her car. But in the hospital, Harrison Ford was so desperate at the thought of losing you, I chose not to say anything.
Yeah.
So this is where I think we're going to have a discussion of like, you're that friend, what do you do?
I tell him, I don't know that I could not. I don't know that I could pretend that I didn't know. And that is like on me. So it's either I have to stop hanging out with you guys because I can't not bring it up, or I have to tell you.
I think the question for me would be, at what point do I tell you, right?
Oh, man.
You know, because like she's in the hospital. It's implied that she is unconscious, that she was like injured and had to recover for a while. And I'm like, well, am I going to tell you now, like while this is happening? Because I think that might only make it worse.
I think you go tell her the day she gets out of the hospital.
Right. But then, and at that point, I'm like, are you still recovering? Am I still making it worse? Then where do you go to continue to recover?
Yeah.
Like, that's something I would weigh.
All of those are super valid concerns, but like this dude murdered somebody. Although she doesn't know that. I don't think it's fair to hold her accountable for that because she does not know.
Yeah, no, she just knows about the affair and only knows a little bit. Doesn't know a ton of information, right?
Yeah.
But she kind of knows about the affair. And I couldn't keep it a secret forever, obviously, but like,
I'm a terrible liar. I'd have to tell you, like, and largely because I wouldn't be able to keep it a secret. You would know. I would be acting so weird anytime we were in a room with Harrison Ford.
I might have confronted Harrison Ford as opposed to her.
Yeah, I'm not going to get murdered tonight, so no.
Well, but you don't know he's a murderer. Like we do because we watched the movie, but like if you're this character, you don't know he's a murderer.
Listen, I don't have witchy vibes, but I do like Google search. So I would definitely have a theory on what happened to the missing girl already.
Oh, that's the thing. If the girl came up missing, I'd be telling my friend, stat, and I'd be like, yes, you're coming to my house or whatever.
That's definitely the trigger point where like you definitely got to tell Michelle Pfeiffer.
But here's the thing. Did she get a good enough look at the girl to know that it's the girl that's missing?
Yeah, so I think here's the thing. I think that she still might think that that's Michelle Pfeiffer she saw.
That could be.
Because she does, well, I mean, and I don't know, I know that it's not because Michelle Pfeiffer confirms that it's not. But they do look alike. They just have different eye color. And if you're far enough away, you might not see that.
You might not see that. I think she knows it wasn't Michelle Pfeiffer, but I don't think she knows who it was, right? So that means that I don't know that she knows that this girl is missing. She doesn't know that Harrison Ford's a killer. I might confront Harrison Ford and be like, I fucking know, but I see how upset you are right now. And I hope that you have broken it off and that you will tell her and that you would never do this again. And if you don't, know that I know and I will.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a chance to make this right. But here's the thing. If she'd done that, he would have definitely killed her. Like, he would have totally killed her friend.
Yeah. You have to immediately at the end of that be like, oh, and by the way, I wrote a very detailed letter about everything that you did, and it's in a safe deposit box.
Right.
And my lawyer has the instructions to open it and read it upon my death.
Right.
So good luck.
Anyway, I understand why she did what she did. I might have chosen to do something different. Who said? And she says, don't hate me. And she says, I don't hate you, whatever. But he calls looking for her and she's like, tell him I'll be home in the morning.
Yeah.
And at this point I was like, how is there almost an hour left? Because at this point, we already, at least me, pretty much know that Harrison Ford killed somebody.
Yes. This is literally just moving the goalposts down. So at this point, it is, yes, I had an affair. I have no idea what happened to her. And then it's like, yes, I killed her, or no, it's like she came here, we had a confrontation, then she left. And then it's like...
Well, and they don't get to that yet.
Yeah, but it's like one of the stages of the step down, like kicking the goalposts down.
Yeah, because she's going to go back the next morning, and you know she's going to ask him, did you kill that girl? Essentially.
Yes, she literally sets it up. She's like, I have one question to ask him.
Yeah.
And if she had gone in there and been like, where did we put the lotion or whatever, if she had come in there and just asked some question and been like, no, ask him the question we want.
Well, she can't because he's unconscious in the tub. And we will find out that he was faking, but we should know that he's faking because the thing that he has presented as the thing that killed him would kill you and there'd be signs.
Well, they said that, and we know what happened, but what the guy who came, like the doctor who came to check him out said was, it's lucky that breaker flipped or he'd be dead. And so what we know is he, of course, flipped the breaker, turned the water on and got in, knowing full well that there's no electricity and he'd be fine.
Right.
So he just laid there in the tub with cold water hitting him for like 20 minutes when she got there.
Right.
And he resisted every urge he could to be like, the water's cold, babe. It's not normally like this.
He might have taken his own stuff.
Oh, I don't think he ever would do that. He would never put himself in a situation where he would not be able to move. I do think he would put himself in a situation where you thought he couldn't move.
Sure. I'm just thinking of like, it'd be tough to make that look real for a doctor. And that might be the only reason why he would do it.
I don't know. I don't think he'd take enough dose that he wouldn't ever have control. I think he is obsessed with it.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. Control is definitely his thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so at this point, they decide that he doesn't have to go to the hospital. He's fine. And she's like, okay, cool. Now that the ambulance and everything is gone, one question, did you fucking kill that bitch? Did you kill her?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, she threatened to kill herself for you. I don't know what happened. She was gone, never saw her again. And Michelle Pfeiffer's like, well, clearly she's dead. So she killed herself or whatever. But like, there are ghosts here.
Yeah.
And this is where she was like, I want to be alone. He finds the book. And this is where he calls the parapsychologist. But while he's on the phone with that parapsychologist, she takes the braid down to the dock and it basically leads her to where that box is.
I mentioned this earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as a joke as to why the police don't use this technique because it's really great. Because it like she's being pulled on a rope because she probably is, like goes right to where honestly, Paige, the trophy box is.
The trophy box.
Yeah, I mean like in serial killer parlance, that's what it would be at least. And I do think there's evidence to suggest he might be a serial killer, but I think they would only get him on one murder, if that makes sense. You know how there are like people who have killed 40 people or whatever, and we can prove 3 of them. So they're going to be in jail forever, but we think they also did these other 30 or whatever.
Right.
I definitely think he is going to go to jail for this. Well, he's dead. But like, I definitely think that he would have gone to jail for this murder, but probably killed his dad. And I think killed his first wife. Like, yeah.
Anyway, he dives in after her. He pulls her up, but now she knows what's down there. He takes the braid and burns it. And he's like, okay, I believe you. There is a presence here, but she's gone because, you know, and Michelle Pfeiffer is even like, I can feel it. And he's like, I don't know how to apologize, but give me another chance. Like,
I did really like this because on some level, this is also like when gaslighting goes wrong, the haunting, because Harrison Ford's thinking that this whole time that she is like doing this passive aggressive, like, did you kill her thing? And no, the house is really just like haunted, bro. And he did not believe her until this moment. So he's like, shit, this is a haunting. We are fucked. He burns that hair immediately, just destroying the smell around them for hours.
Oh, for hours. It would smell so bad. We don't see what he hands her, but he's like, I got your book from the bookstore. I don't know how to apologize. And I so badly wanted him to hand her a book that just said divorce for dummies. Like something. But they go out sailing and she's like, yeah, maybe we can go antiquing. I heard about this place, Adamant, and he's like, I've never heard about it. She's like, well, maybe we can stop there for lunch sometime.
Yeah, which this is a really cool shot because it's like a crane on a boat swings the camera over to their boat, which is called Good Genes.
Right.
And he's like a DNA scientist or whatever.
Right.
In fact, they say he's on the cusp of like breaking something that would be like Jonas Salk level revolutionary, which is like earth shattering. That's the penicillin guy, right?
Right.
Anyway, so they like swoop in on this one boat with a crane camera over to their boat. We get their lines and then it swoops away. And it's like such a cool, fun shot. I loved it.
It is very cool. But we reveal that she goes to Adamant alone while he's at work.
Yes.
And has the key that she found. And it matches this one store that has those vulva necklaces and the boxes that match them. And she recognizes that box from the one that's in the lake. So she waits till late at night and then she goes down there, gets the box and opens it in the middle of the living room. And I'm like, girl, like, hide better. Open it outside. Like, what are we doing?
Have you not seen Hocus Pocus or any other movie that has to do with like a haunting on any level? It's going to happen in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
That's where the camera director wanted it to be.
For sure. But so she finds Madison's necklace in the box and she's like, you killed her. And he's like, I didn't kill anyone. I got here. She was already dead. She took a bunch of pills. And she left that box in the garden, you know, with a letter for you. But I burned the letter and it was like a week before the party and she had like taken. And he's like, what should I have done? Should I have put this all behind us? Like, what should I have done?
Should I ruin everything I built just because I murdered this girl? Yeah, Harrison Ford.
So he's like, no, like she took pills. She was dead when I got here. And then I put her in the car and I rolled her into the lake. What should I have done? It would have wrecked our whole lives.
Right. This goalpost setting is he didn't kill her, but she was dead when I got here. So I just hid the body.
I hid the body. And so Michelle Pfeiffer's like, okay, but she must be brought up. Like, we got to go get that body.
Yeah. We're clearly being haunted. Like if this was me and I was Harrison Ford's character, I would understand why she was like, but we have to do whatever we have to do to stop the haunting.
Right.
And she's got to be buried and laid to rest. Like we got to come to terms with this. And so he grabs the phone and is like, okay, I'll call and turn myself in or whatever. But that's not what he does.
That's not what he does. He calls and someone, we don't see who.
I loved this reveal.
This was a great reveal.
It was great. Yeah, it was so well done.
He makes it seem like he's taking a shower, that he's going to get ready. And then she's kind of walking through the house, putting other clothes on. And she passes the phone once and thinks about it, doesn't pick it up. Passes it a second time and then looks at the call history, realizing he called information.
Well, she actually calls, like she redials and it says, hello, information. And then that's when it's revealed he actually wasn't in the shower. He was doing that as like a ruse so he could like lurk about the house and attack her from the shadows, which he now does.
Right. And chloroforms her with his magic mice juice.
Yes. Well, the mice juice is what he injects. This is just, I think, regular chloroform.
It's inhaled. So even with the mice, it was inhaled. They put it on a cotton ball and they just inhale it.
Oh, that's right. The injection thing that paralyzed her or something else.
Yeah, he doesn't inject her. He literally just like cloth over the mouth.
Oh, I thought I saw him inject her. I thought he injects her. Well, whatever. I mean,
No, yeah, cloth.
Yeah.
It's the serum. But
he definitely does cloth over the mouth. Like, you definitely see that. I just thought he also injected her, but I may have been just mistaking that.
no, but the only reason I know is because when they do it to the mouse, it's just on a cotton ball that they hold near the mouse's nose.
The niece's nose, yeah.
The Misa's nose. But she tries to get away, and within seconds, she is paralyzed.
Yes, man, when she is like trying to crawl away with just her arms, because that's all she has feeling, and I guess like it's sad. You're like, oh no, he's gonna get her.
He's gonna get her. And he's like, yeah, it was such a rush to hold her underwater in the bath. You realize that's why she kept appearing in the bathtub.
Yes.
That's where he killed her.
That's where he murdered her.
He just straight up murdered her the same way, probably with the serum too.
I assume so, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, I couldn't figure it out how you put it all together, but I guess it was the fucking ghosts. Anyway, now I'm going to have to kill you and have extra ghosts, but oh well. And he puts her in the bath and starts running the water. And he's like, oh, it was too cold. Let me put the warm water on. Don't worry about it. And then he tells her he was pretending to be electrocuted that time.
I do love that he reveals, he's like, I remember that time I manipulated you by convincing you I almost died. You idiot. I was just playing.
Fucking idiot.
And also, Paige, can I just ask you a question? I just thought of this.
Sure.
As Harrison Ford's character, he murdered his affair partner because he didn't want her around causing trouble.
Yeah.
He lives in a world now where we know if he does that and he murders somebody, that person might come back and still cause trouble.
Sure.
That no longer makes murder, in my mind, a viable way to resolve this issue.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
But he still tries to kill Michelle Pfeiffer because, he's got a plan and he's just going to stick to it, guys.
He's just going to stick to it.
Yeah.
I think it's because of control, because he's like, I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you. Not going to happen now. So now I got to kill you.
It's literally about control. Yeah.
It's literally about control. So he puts the dog outside. He calls her friend and is like, hey, we just got in a fight. I'm going to go sleep at the lab. Can you check on her tomorrow morning? Basically setting her friend up to find her drowned in the tub.
Having, quote, taken her own life or whatever.
Taken her own life, yes.
Yes. I mean, he is all but writing her suicide note and putting lipstick on to kiss it goodbye. Like,
right.
He's like laying the groundwork for the story he wants to be her death.
And he's like, me and your daughter are going to get a lot closer together. Every time I look at her, I'll see you. And I was like, oh no.
Which is a gross implication because we know she and the affair partner, Madison, looked a lot alike.
Yep.
And you know who looks like Michelle Pfeiffer? Her daughter. Guys, it's gross.
It's real gross.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great. But he sees that the drugs are kind of wearing off, but he also sees that she's wearing the necklace, Madison's necklace. And as he pulls her up to take it off of her, she looks like the dead body. It's a jump scare. And he flips back and $1 million babies himself on the sink.
Yes.
And smashes the mirror and gets all bloody.
I mean, this could have, it almost kills him.
I thought it did.
It's bad. But I loved that this is kind of Madison's revenge in this moment.
Yes.
Was she scared him literally to death.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Loved it.
And also scared me to death. It was very scary.
And so we think he's down. And so Michelle Pfeiffer's trying to pull at the chain to drain the tub. The chain breaks, but she's got the shower head.
This whole sequence is so tense and it's so long.
It's so long. She manages to turn so the water's not coming in as fast, and then is trying to yank and finally gets the tub to drain.
Well, and so she gets the tub to drain, and then the chain that was precariously holding it a little bit up so the water started to go down, the chain breaks so it falls down again. And then she has to smash her heel on it and yank the chain. And it takes a long time, and she can't breathe the whole time. It's so tense. It's very well done, but it's very tense.
So tense, but then she sits up and looks over the side of the tub and he's gone.
Oh, man, that reveal, because you think she's okay. He's dead.
Right.
All she has to do is figure out this puzzle that's trying to kill her, right? If you're thinking about this like a video game. And she solves the puzzle and gets out of the tub alive, but he's not dead, guys. And this is where I was like, God, okay, so the ring was destroyed, and now we're getting the Shire again. It's like another ending in the Return of the King part of this,
Right, because she then crawls into the bedroom trying to pick up the phone. It's busy, so she knows that he has the other phone somewhere. And as she's gaining more feeling, now she can like walk. She sees him at the bottom of the stairs as if he has fallen because of loss of blood, and he's got the phone under him.
Yeah.
And as she reaches for it, his hand moves. She grabs the car keys instead and runs for it.
Well, yeah, because I think she has the cell phone, right? She has the cell phone in her car or in her hand.
The cell phone's in the trunk. She has a shard of mirror that she has as a weapon.
That's what it is. I knew she had something in her hand. Yeah.
Yeah. She runs to the truck that has the boat in the back, and it takes her a second to get it started. I'm like, bitch, he's in that boat. He's in the boat. Because she looks back and the door is open. So she like he's out there somewhere. He's in the boat.
Honestly, yeah. The viewer is saying what that lady said when, an hour and 8 hours after the Boston Marathon bombing, and like, listen, honey, I think there's somebody in the boat. We got to call the cops.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's such a wild documentary.
I know.
That's so crazy. But so he's in the boat. She gets to the middle of the bridge. She's trying to call. He bursts through the back window of that truck to try and strangle her.
That whole sequence was so well done, though, because it's like her struggling with the phone, trying to get the phone to connect because she's on the bridge and she's not quite there yet. And as they're like driving over the bridge, we're getting like the strobe of the lights as they're driving past the street lamps that are like lighting the street or whatever. And then you don't see him, you don't see him, you don't see him. And then he's there with like a hammer breaking the window. And it's like so well done.
Yes. And she makes it over the bridge.
Yeah.
And calls 911, like does connect and is like, here's where I am. I'm headed for where the boat's put in. And like, he is trying to kill me. It is bad.
Yes. I'm on the bridge. Save me, more or less.
She goes to where he dumped the body of Madison.
Literally. Yeah. They like tag team his death in this moment. It's awesome.
Because the truck goes over like into the water, and then the boat, it's like, I guess the front part, the pole on the front of the boat, the mast.
It's the mast because it's not.
It's folded down.
Yes, it is folded down. Yeah. And so it goes through the front windshield all the way, and it literally lands on her car.
Yeah.
And like points right at it. And that's kind of how Madison gets out of the car. Like they don't really explain all of that. I mean, all of this is just like, and she looks gross. Like she's been dead for a year at the bottom of a lake.
This is getting real goofy at this point. Yeah.
Yes. But like she is out and about helping out.
This drove me nuts though, that Michelle Pfeiffer's like, what do I do? I can't get out. And she's like opening the doors. I was like, bitch, the windshield he broke.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
but I mean, she's also going through a lot. I'm going to give her some benefit of the doubt, but I hope she figures it out before she dies.
Yeah, he manages to catch the necklace and he like grabs her and he goes to push her head under the water, basically like, we're both going to die.
He's like, don't take my necklace. I'll never be able to find it.
I'll never be able to find it again. We're both going to die down here. But then who should pop up? Fucking Madison.
Yeah.
Who pulls his leg to basically let Michelle Pfeiffer get to freedom. And then Madison basically is like, you staying down here with me, Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And then gets her necklace back. But then we cut to sometime later where Michelle Pfeiffer is putting one rose on Madison Elizabeth Frank's grave.
I love this because it shows that like she did like take care of Madison's body. And I'm sure we don't see Madison's mom there with her, which would have been nice, but like, I'm sure it was like done with the family and like they, like, I think that even though Harrison Ford is dead, the official account of record is that he murdered her. And this is where, it's like, so I think like she does make it right, although we don't get it. I like that they imply that she does make it right. I really loved that.
Yeah.
And that's the movie. So having seen the movie and we talked about the movie, Paige, what did you think about What Lies Beneath?
I did like this. I was in for it the whole time. It is long. It has multiple endings. It's very twisty turny.
It's a tight 90-minute movie that goes on for 2 hours.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So it's one that I probably won't revisit soon. But I would recommend it to people. It's, if you like a good tight crime thriller, it's a good time.
I really did think it was a good time. And it's not a one for me. Like I did get scared at those two moments, but they're not so scary. It's not terrible. We'll talk about that when we get to the scary scale. But it's very manageable. And man, is it well acted. It's well written.
Oh, the acting in this is phenomenal.
It's told to you in a way that's amazing. Like I think the cinematography work, even for the time, is pretty great. So yeah, I think I dig it, man. It's Zemeckis. Like, this is 15 years after he made Back to the Future.
Well, and it was, we'll cover it in fun facts, it was while he was making one of his other most famous films.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's a great movie, and I mean, I'm not surprised based upon the direction and cast. But Paige, do you want to hit us with some fun facts?
Yes.
Well, hit us with your fun facts.
Bathtub fun facts. Director Robert Zemeckis filmed this while his production Castaway was shut down so Tom Hanks could lose weight for his character.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yes. Wild.
So during every scene of this movie, just picture Tom Hanks wearing trash bags on a treadmill.
Yeah. Holding a volleyball with a face on. They built 5 different versions of the bathroom set so that they could film at different times, both on opposite coasts to accommodate the shooting schedules.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
Yes, but also from multiple different directions. The house depicted in the film was used for day scenes only and was torn down after filming because it didn't meet local building codes. So it's literally basically a facade.
Wow.
The rooms were duplicated on an LA soundstage for night scenes. So like they built this house, they used it during the day, then tore it down. Then for any scenes that took place at night, they had replicas of those rooms on a soundstage.
That's cool. And when we talk about the budget, you'll be like, oh, I see where that went.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford were his first and only choices for the lead roles. That almost never happens. There is a scene in the trailer in which Claire, Michelle Pfeiffer's character, is looking at a photograph and notices a ghost face in the window. That scene never appears in the movie. It was unused. The photo, the newspaper photo, says photo by Andrew Lehman. Andrew Lehman is an uncredited graphic designer who worked on the props in the movie.
Okay.
This was meant to be shot in the way that Hitchcock shot movies. Basically, if Hitchcock had access to digital technology. And honestly, there are many places where you can absolutely see that. We referenced Rear Window a lot.
Yeah.
So yes. So the original script was written by Clark Gregg. If that name sounds familiar to you, that's because Clark Gregg played Agent, I don't remember his name, from Marvel, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., like the main S.H.I.E.L.D. guy who died at the end of like First Avengers.
Yeah, he's Phil Coulson.
Agent Coulson, that was his name.
Yeah.
I was like, what's the guy's last name? He wrote the original script for this movie.
What?
Yes.
I didn't even know he was a writer.
Me neither. I found that out
Amazing.
today. I was today years old when I found that out. But the scene with the Ouija board was started by Jody. So like originally Jody brought the Ouija board and started the seance, but then later runs out screaming after it gets a little out of hand. But it was changed for the movie in order to emphasize how much Claire thinks she's losing her mind.
Yeah.
So that was one of the changes from the original. Michelle Pfeiffer said she was originally not super excited to film this because of all the technical aspects of the film. There was a lot of digital things that people do now that are commonplace that at the time were kind of new, different from how people had filmed movies in the past, especially with all the different sets and the night and the day shoots.
Yeah.
And it was a lot, but she did say that ultimately she found it educational and enjoyable. The list of missing persons that Claire finds on the internet include many people who worked on the movie, cast and crew: Jennifer Huston, Kenneth Farnell, Ellen Faustine, Harry Frierson, Elizabeth Gabler, Ten Gagliano, Colleen Gibbons, Jan Ellen Goldstein, Patrick Gomes, and Nancy Gomes were all members of the crew that are on that list.
Okay.
This is the first film under Robert Zemeckis' own production company, Image Movers. Also, in the original script that did not make it into the movie, Claire and Norman smoke pot and didn't have as close of a relationship as they do in the movie. So I thought that was kind of interesting that even in 2000, they were like, we're not doing it. We're not putting a pot in a movie in a positive way. Which I think is really funny. Now, an additional Hitchcock reference, Diana Scarwood, who plays Jodie in this movie, also appeared with Anthony Perkins in Psycho 3.
They made 3 of those movies.
Oh, yeah. And they're not good. The first one's phenomenal and a classic,
Yes.
and the sequels, not so much.
Fair enough.
And the remake, also questionable.
Vince Yawn, am I right? I haven't seen it. I don't know.
When Claire confronts James Remar, accusing him of murdering his wife, he responds with the line, "I didn't kill my wife." This line is identical to the one famously said by Richard Kimball in The Fugitive, Harrison Ford, before jumping from a dam. I didn't kill my wife.
I don't care, which is the best line Tommy Lee Jones could have delivered in that moment. I love that moment.
So good.
He's like, I just have my job to do, bro. Like, you're just a thing. You're a Tuesday for me.
I am M. Bison. You are a Tuesday.
It is his M. Bison moment. Yeah, it's so good.
Yep. And of course, Harrison Ford with the tables flipped would have said that in The Fugitive. Now, Harrison Ford was also the original choice as Eddie Valiant in Robert Zemeckis' Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
What?
But the cost of having him for the movie was too high, so ultimately it went to Bob Hoskins. Around 10 minutes into the movie, Claire's folding some clothes into her daughter's dresser. One of the things that is put on the dresser is a small E.T. doll. Harrison Ford was at one point married to Melissa Matheson, who was the screenwriter for E.T.
What?
And Ford himself is in a deleted scene of that movie. And I'll end on this. Harrison Ford turned down the movie The Perfect Storm to star in this instead. And honestly, I think he made the right choice.
Good call. Yeah.
And those are your fun facts.
Well, thank you for those fun facts, Paige. Let's talk a little bit about box office. So what do you think the production budget was for this indie horror film from the year 2000, What Lies Beneath?
Indie horror film with some of the most famous actors of all time.
Right.
I think this cost them like $80 million.
Paige, you're so close. It was $90 million.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's so much fucking money.
You were telling me during the fun facts that they had sets coast to coast.
They had coast to coast sets, yeah.
Nuts. Anyway, $90 million, if you adjust for inflation, is roughly $168.5 million today. This movie came out the weekend of July 21st, 2000, and it was number one the weekend it came out. It beat the number two movie, which was X-Men.
Which one, though?
I think the original X-Men.
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, X2 is of that X-Men cycle, it's all about X2.
I agree completely. But X-Men, great movie. Number 3 was Pokemon 2000. Number 4 was Scary Movie, also an episode we've done. And number 5 was a movie Paige mentioned, A Perfect Storm,
yes.
Which you would think, well, of course, Harrison Ford made the right decision. But A Perfect Storm was in its 4th week, still number 5, and it made $145 million. Like, that movie, I don't think it's as good as this one, but it's a good movie, and there's some famous people in it, and it made money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But What Lies Beneath was number 1 this weekend. What do you think it brought in that weekend?
I bet this brought in about $23 million.
Yeah, it brought in $29.7 million. So a little bit more than that. It was great. It was a really, really good opening.
I'm getting weirdly good at this. I've only done it, like 300 times?
I know. We do it a lot on both shows. Like, you do it twice a week, Paige.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to practice, but you've been practicing for years.
Yep.
Anyway, me, I'm terrible at it. You know what I'm good at? Asking if people want to guess at it.
There you go.
Paige, this movie was in theaters because it was the year 2000 for 24 weeks. It was in the top 10 for the first 11 of those weeks. Like, it did pretty well. What do you think it brought in domestically in that long 24-week run that stretched from July 21st until December 29th of the year 2000?
I'm going to put this at $120 million.
That's a good guess. It was $155.4 million.
Okay, good for them.
And then it left the U.S. and made another $133.2 million. So it made a total of $288 million. Good
for them.
Which
good for them.
Is $288.6 million. Insane.
This is a bonkers Return of the King ass movie. But again, was never bored, was interested the entire time. And they doing cool shit. More power to you. Take that money. Get your bag.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool story told well by great actors, you know?
Yeah.
And if you adjust that $288.6 mil to today's dollars, that's like $540 million today. This was a bona fide hit. So when I reached out and was like, hey, have you ever heard of that like not really well known Michelle Pfeiffer Harrison Ford movie? You could have just stopped me there and been like, no, I've heard of it, because like there aren't many of those, and they're all famous.
They're all famous. Yes.
So there isn't an not well known one. You moron. And listen, Paige didn't say any of those things, but she would have been in the right mind to, is all I'm saying. She would not have been out of line at all.
You're welcome.
But that's your box office page. Do you want to hit us with that scary scale?
Sure. Our scary scale is a scale of how scary we found this film today when we watched it, with 1 being Ghostbusters and 10 being Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Todd.
I'm going to give this a 3 on the scary scale because I did jump at the eye in the fence and then the Madison over Michelle Pfeiffer's face in the bathtub at the end. That scared the shit out of me, Paige.
The eye in the fence got me, even though I knew it was coming.
It's so telegraphed, and I still jump every time. I hate it.
And this was very tense, but I found myself, more than being scared, being like trying to figure out and writing my own "Don't Worry, Darling" hybrid of this movie in my brain.
I know. I love that reading of it. Yeah, that's cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a 1 for me, but I had an enjoyable time.
Yeah.
And that's your scary scale.
Well, Paige, this week, I guess I kind of suggested we watch this unknown horror movie from the year 2000. Hey guys, Future Todd breaking in here. First off, sorry about the sound. I was on the travel mic in a hotel room in some city, I can't remember where. Sorry about that. Thanks for sticking with us. Guys, the listener request just finished this morning, and it's literally the day before this episode comes out. So I wanted to let you guys know that Willy's Winderland is going to be your winner for the listener request, just barely winning over Bring Her Back. It literally had 1% more when I checked it this morning. So guys, that is your homework for next week, is Willy's Wonderland. And maybe we should do Bring Her Back soon, because that was so close to winning when we checked it.
Hey, do you have any reviews for us, Todd?
I do. This week, I'm going to read a Spotify comment from our most recent episode, which was our The Purge Anarchy episode. And I'm going to read this one. It came in 9 hours ago, so it's like fresh, hot off the Spotify presses here, guys. From Justin, they say, "The fact that I devoured all Purge movies and TV episodes is thanks to the Horror Version podcast. I previously had written it off as some home invasion schlock. Boy, was I wrong, and I'm ever thankful for having the knowledge of the series."
Nice. You're welcome.
And I loved that comment. I was like, Justin out here is seeing what I'm seeing in these movies, and that makes me happy.
I enjoyed Purge Anarchy way more than I thought I would.
Same.
So I'm actually really excited for the next one.
Yeah. I was like, did Tom Morello write this? But he didn't. It's just a good movie. And Justin, thank you so much for that comment. And if you want to have me read your Spotify comment or 5-star Apple review, leave us one of those things and I'll do just that. So guys, if you like this show but want to hear Paige and I talk about romantic comedies or just regular romantic movies, check out our other podcast. Some might call it a sister podcast, called Romancing the Pod, where we do just that weekly. It's a lot like this show, but for romance and romantic comedies, because Paige doesn't like them. So we make her watch them, just like you guys make me watch horror over here. But if you want to follow me, I am at Todd J. Awesome on all the social media. Paige is at Rampage Wesley on Instagram?
Yes, and TikTok.
And just Paige Wesley on Twitter, because you got that before some CEO lady and she wanted it, but you wouldn't give it back, and I respect you for that.
Refuse.
Also, Paige
Suck it, other Paige Wesley.
Paige is also on another podcast. It's great. You should check it out. It's called Cult Podcast with Armando Torres, who is a wonderful person. And if you want to support this show, go to Patreon at patreon.com/horrorvirgin, where there are a lot of great levels and a lot of great things. We do the Patreon shout outs at the beginning of every episode. We do listener requests, stuff like that, bonus episodes. So you'll be getting all of that content, plus episodes a day early with no ads, and who doesn't love that? So sign up for the Patreon and get a lot of great stuff.
That's going to be it for us, you guys. I'm Paige.
And I'm your horror virgin, Todd.
Keep it ooky spooky.
Yeah. Have an amazing week, guys. Bye. I'm just glad Leia got out before she got murdered by Han Solo nerds. If you had 28 minutes of solid Brad Pitt on Clooney action,
yeah,
I'd check out 5 to 10 minutes of that.
Oh, I'd check out the full 28 and the extra features and the behind the scenes.
You know what I thought was wild, Paige? They did a director's commentary.
I just pictured the kind of things they would talk about. Sorry, that just broke me inside.
This is the part where George bent me over and railed really hard. Just railed.
We talked about it beforehand, and it was like, what's your actor's secret? And honestly, I just feel like my character would be eating ass this whole time.
My character's secret is power bottom.